There is so much going on with the economy right now with gold prices, real estate, the Fed pivot coming up, energy prices. So much to talk about, and I thought what would be best for you is if I just talked about each topic for 30 seconds or less. So we're going to fly through this. We're going to go really quickly, and I'm going to show you guys everything you need to see, what you need to know, and give you my perspective on a lot of it. You're going to love this video. It's going to go really quickly, and you're going to learn so much in a short window of time. You are in the right place. Welcome to the channel. My name is Peter Leeds, and we're all about getting you profits quickly and easily.
Peter Leeds.
Premium Investor Enlightenment.
And I want to show you a chart on screen right now. This is the inflation rate. And right there is where we had the big inflationary bounce. And now inflation is running away, even though they've raised interest rates so high. We've got higher for longer interest rates, and inflation is still going higher. It's running away. That'll be good for things like gold, and we'll get into gold in a minute. I got a lot to say about that. But inflation is winning the fight against the Fed's increased interest rates. And at the same time, the economy is taking on a lot of damage right now. And just yesterday, I saw one of the first financial pundits I follow saying that we are done with interest rate increases. The Fed is done now.
The Fed is probably done. I think the economy is starting to slow. I think the level of real interest rates is high enough to slow things down. You know, high mortgage rates, high car rates, high credit card rates, they're starting to really have, an impact on the economy.
And when that happens, it's going to be dramatically negative for the US dollar. It'll be great for gold. It'll be great for anybody who's got a mortgage or has any kind of debt. But what we're left with will be runaway inflation. We are approaching the point of the Fed pivot where they're going to change their focus from increasing interest rates to slow down inflation, and they'll just give in and give up on it. They won't have a choice. They can't do more damage to the economy without sending us into a massive recession. But what they don't know, and what you know because you're an intelligent investor and you watch the right kinds of investor enlightenment, like the stuff we give you, is that we're going into a recession either way, no matter what. And once we get into a recession, a lot of things will change. A lot of the rules will change. Unemployment will start increasing throughout the entire recession. Businesses will be under even more strain, and then the Federal Reserve is going to have to keep lowering rates just to keep things afloat because things will start getting a lot worse through the recession. And just to give you an example that we are in economic crazy town right now, the US dollar has had so much strength despite the fact that underneath it is this unpayable, mathematically unpayable debt. And the government is having trouble just staying awake, let alone open, and they don't know what they're doing. They're taking us down a long tunnel to a cliff. We'll be in a very different situation with the US dollar once we get into a recession, once the Fed pivots. Any of these things are going to start bringing the US dollar's value down, comparative value to other currencies. And what happens then is that everything you're buying with US dollars is going to seem like it's costing more, such as oil, which affects every business, and it's like a tax on businesses, on consumers, anyone who uses oil. And oil makes plastic, so anyone who uses plastic or goes anywhere.
Listen to the kind message we received from Peter Leeds subscriber Yvette.
Last week, I took the family on a Disney vacation in Florida, and I was able to pay for the whole thing with the money I earned following your guidance.
But speaking of oil, it's come down in a very short window of time recently, although it's been on a trend higher for a while. I actually bought an oil stock yesterday, and anyone who's a subscriber to the Peter Leeds newsletter would have seen what I bought. I do think that we are in for much higher energy prices, especially natural gas. It's been very low. You can see here it's consolidating, but don't be fooled by the chart because people always see a chart, it's just like with penny stocks, and say, oh, how much could I lose? You could lose 100%. They say, well, it was higher before, now it looks like a value. Because you're looking at the chart, but the past prices make no difference. It doesn't matter where it was. What's the value now? That's what most investors kind of miss. You can see a stock trading at $10 drops to $1, and you say, wow, I'm getting in at the right time. It can go to 5 cents. You have to ask yourself, is it worth the $1 it's trading at? So the same thing with natural gas. You'll look at the chart and say, wow, what a bargain. It depends. Although overall, I think that most energy stocks will do well. Most energy commodities will do well. And we're getting closer and closer to the day where the entire world runs out of oil. Last I checked, we had about 42 years left. At the current extraction rates, usage rates of about 85 million barrels of oil per day, our kids will see a time where there is no oil. And I always tell you that a lot of the problems from that are not running out of oil. It's as you approach running out of oil, because then everyone starts shooting each other. And here's a couple of charts of how gold has been doing. It's been doing very poorly in the recent quarter, but overall, longer term, it's been doing great. It's been consolidating in this current range for a while now. The longer it consolidates, the greater the move out, either down or up. I don't believe it's going to go much lower, but I've been wrong for a while on this one now. Everything says gold should go higher. Economic Crazy Town says it's going lower. People don't understand what gold is, and I always tell you, don't worry about it. Don't worry about gold. It drops $100 an ounce. Don't worry about it. It's not going anywhere. There's always value, and that value increases a tremendous amount, especially when low prices kick in. Like the late great Boone Pickens said, the cure for low oil prices is low oil prices. Same thing for gold. Mines are shut down, exploration is curtailed, mergers and acquisitions slow down. And meanwhile, behind the scenes, just while no one seemed to notice it, China, other countries like that, India, even Mexico are buying gold. Central banks all over the world are picking up a lot of gold, especially at these prices. It's crazy. Anybody who's a central bank, if you're not buying gold right now, you're making a mistake. But invariably, in the meantime, a lot of the gold mining companies are doing poorly because of the price of gold. But it's a flock of birds. When it starts going the other way, they're all going to go up together. They're going to go back to where they were and beyond. I feel very confident in that. If you're an investor in gold, physical, or silver, or you're an investor in the mining companies, just have an unbelievable amount of patience. Because a lot of people sell at the bottom. That's now, in my opinion. I think that a lot of people will be giving up on gold now and getting out of it. And then 6 months from now, you look back and say, what was I thinking? And it's going to go once it goes. It won't look back after that point. You want to be in at this time, sit there, and then wait. There's a payoff at the end that's going to be worth all the patience you have up until that point. I'm going to talk about two things at once here because they relate to each other and it's sort of explaining my theory, my point. I believe real estate is going to come down dramatically from here. It's already come down in Canada. I think that the States is next. And at the same time, what are mortgage rates based on? Generally, they're using the 10-year Treasury yield, 10-year bonds, as the marker for where mortgage rates should be. Now listen to this. The 10-year Treasury yield, which serves as a benchmark for mortgage rates as an investor confidence barometer, on Tuesday surged to its highest level since 2007. What else happened in 2007? What was going on then? I'll give you a minute to think about it, but you already know. Because you're a wise investor, you already understand this. It was right before the mortgage meltdown, the global financial crisis, and there's so many things right now that are setting up exactly as right before other major economic calamities. So I am more worried now about the economy than I have been in such a long time, and I've been worried about it for quite a while. I've seen a lot of this coming. Case in point, I wanted to pull out one of the comments someone made because it was the perfect comment and I loved it. This is from D. Trent. Everyone is now talking about economic collapse. Peter has been talking about this for the last 2 years. And I replied, thank you. I think there's been so much value in seeing all of this ahead of time. And you're totally right. Now everybody is talking about it and doing their best to explain the why of it all, even though they're just now catching up with us. And invariably what you hear a lot is people who are a newer investor might say, but you've been saying that for a while and it hasn't happened. The problem with that comment is that it implies that if something hasn't happened, it will never happen. I've been talking about this economy coming down for so long now. I was early. And people say, but you've been saying that for a while. Yeah. And now we're here. This is it. We're here now. We're literally in this economy coming down right now. Look around you. You're seeing it. This is why there's no money for the government. This is why our debt loads are mathematically unpayable. It's all come up to this point. I've been talking about it for years, and here you go. Enjoy. They were able to manipulate the markets, keep things afloat. Most people, well over 90%, have no idea what's going on. They just know that they're paying more for gas or more for groceries or that the economy is kind of getting close to a recession. But they don't understand, truly, how bad this is going to be, how messed up the economy's become because of the decisions of people who are in the place that they had to make the decisions, but they don't know what they're doing, but they think they know what they're doing. A healthy economy, this is not. The government has been making moves to keep things afloat, but they're running out of runway. There's not much time left now. We've passed the point of no return a long time ago. And now it's just a matter of waiting for it to play out and being positioned appropriately as it plays out. If you want to know what to invest in, things like precious metals are always good. Being more discerning with the money that you spend, saving up a bit if you can. This isn't going to be like the global financial crisis mortgage meltdown. We were able to get through that because we were in a much healthier economic position at that point. Now we are at the edge of the cliff. So what do you do about it? Invest in the right things, educate yourself, get the right kinds of investor enlightenment that we give you. And since so few people know about what's going on, besides you and I, they need to know this message. So you can help us out by clicking like on the video. It helps us spread the video to more people so they get the message, they understand, they can prepare properly. And if you don't feel like doing that, then please subscribe to the channel. Throw us a bone here. We're trying to help a lot of people because it's a lot different than what you're going to hear on the news or from your political leaders. They don't know either. So they don't know that they're lying. Some of them do know they're lying, but they don't know they're lying. But they're telling you what they need to tell you. Look at anything the Federal Reserve has said. Janet Yellen, Alan Greenspan, Ben Bernanke, they've admitted that they didn't know what they're talking about at the time. After the fact, they go, we didn't know what was going to happen. We don't know what to do, what we're going to decide on doing. If somebody lies to you repeatedly or if they're wrong repeatedly and then you still believe what they're saying, then it's more on you. It's more your fault if you believe them this time because they still don't know what they're talking about and they're still wrong and they're still making all the wrong decisions. And that means that we all are going to have a harder economic time, especially the people who aren't aware of it. You're aware of it, so you can start making the moves now that you need to make.
The premium investor enlightenment from Peter Leeds gets you profits quickly and easily.